Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our last lecture series. I'm Professor Susan Amburgey, and I teach logistics classes over at the ATC. And so today we're going to talk about life as a highway, eastbound and down. Life is a highway. No matter where you start in life, your journey, we'll talk about some signs, road signs. So today I wanted to kind of combine my love of music, the supply chain and logistics, and also some motivational thoughts. And we're going to be entertained. I'm not going to be that boring lecturer that makes you fall asleep during it or count like the ceiling tiles. So when you start in life, you think you're on the right path, don't you? You know, how many of you, when you were growing up, think back of when your parents said to you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or Aunt Edna came to you at a family reunion and she pinched your cheek and said, oh, I just know you're going to be this. Are you that person today? Probably not. You're probably not the one that you thought at 5 years old. Good for you.
I actually am. I actually wanted to be a welder since I was 7.
Awesome.
It's kind of funny.
But most people change. They absolutely change. But along your way and along life's journey, you're going to have speed bumps. Things are going to get in your way. Some of us call it life. And that's kind of a pun with life is a highway, because we do face speed bumps. There's times when we go 70 miles an hour in a 35 because we just are in such a hurry. We have potholes in our life. There's things that cause us to stop or have an accident. Sometimes at red light, sometimes we're stopped at red and we don't know how to proceed. Sometimes we go through caution in life. And then there's times when we go, go, go. Sometimes we have to yield. What direction do we go? We definitely stop sometimes in life and ponder, did we make the right decision? Sometimes it's slippery when wet. Sometimes that guardrail is not there to protect us. And we certainly have detours in life. My detour? Life doesn't go always as planned. There's tons of detours in life. I know when I was, I'll just show you. That's me at 2 years old. I'm standing in front of Elvis's car. I knew what my destiny was. I was going to be Mrs. Elvis Presley. That's all there is to it. It was destiny. Absolutely destiny. I knew it. I mean, look at him. But then I found out about Priscilla. And then I found out he was a little too old for me. So I had to take what I call the ultimate detour. But I didn't know which way to go. Do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go straight? Is it going to be a rough road? Life is in the fast lane. You never know which direction you're going to take sometimes. So I detoured to David Cassidy. I detoured to Bobby Sherman. And like when he was singing, Julie, 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 do you love me? I knew deep down inside he was going, Susie, Susie, Susie. I knew that. And then there was Sean Cassidy. Yeah. So I changed my course of direction. Makes you want to go do what, run, run, run. And then a big detour in my life. Like the song, Country Roads Take Me Home. My parents were from Eastern Kentucky. I lived in Cleveland, one of the largest cities in the country. Even though this isn't really what it means, I felt like my parents were dragging me away from what I had intended. I intended to live in Cleveland and grow up in a city where a shopping mall was literally like right around the corner. All of a sudden, I'm 3 hours away from a mall. I'm living in a county that has one traffic light. My parents decided to open up on their property the largest mom and pop grocery store in Eastern Kentucky. There it is, in Big Pine Top, Kentucky. When I was growing up and I moved there at age 15 years old, I would have my friends in Cleveland send me letters addressed instead of Pine Top, Kentucky, 41843. I had them send it to Cave Town, USA, 41843, because that's where I thought I was. All of a sudden, I found myself like in a construction area. I had to yield all my decisions. But it's not about where you get sometimes. It's the climb. It's the climb that you take. It's not so important about what's on the other side. Sometimes it's that journey to that destiny, to where you go. It's not about if you're going to lose. You're going to lose sometimes in life. Sometimes your goals are not going to be achieved unless you work really hard towards them. You have to persevere and you have to give everything you have within you to make not only that climb. And like I said, it's not about what's on the other side. It's the climb that will make you stronger. All those life lessons and all those hard hat areas and those stop signs and those yields, those detours in life, those are the ones that will make you be the best person you possibly can be. Bless the broken road. How many, just with a show of hands, has had heartache and things not happen the way that you wanted them to? Every single one of us. Sometimes we're running full. We're full steam ahead. Then all of a sudden we come to a road that's closed. And we have to decide which road we're going to take. Sometimes we're told you can't enter. That's when you break down doors. Sometimes you got to put that seatbelt on because it can be a bumpy ride. Sometimes you feel like you're falling off of a cliff. Sometimes you're told you can't turn around. You got to move forward. Sometimes it says private. You can't enter this place. Sometimes you're completely empty. You've run out of steam. You know, we get into people telling us, stop, you can't do that. But you know who you have to listen to? Yourself. Because just like the song says, I set out on a narrow way many years ago, hoping I would find true love along the broken road. So at that age too, when I was looking for Elvis, and all of a sudden, I thought Elvis was my true love. But I got lost a few times. Remember? David, Bobby, Sean. But I wiped my brow and I kept going through. And I couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you, and it wasn't about love. It was that journey towards higher education. So that's what FSCJ did for me. My true love is not some person. It's that education, because I realized that through education, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And it doesn't mean a college education. It can be a vocational study. It can be a trade school that you go to. And we certainly have all of those here on campus for you to go to, just like our welder over here. You know, here we have an AS student. And what are you guys doing? IT. And what are you doing? Business. So we all, and Brandon, what did you do? Economics. So, and Miss Beck, what was your college major? Education. So we all do different things in life. But that's not what we started out with, other than our welder over here. And so, you can tell I'm old because I love the Beatles, the long and winding road. The road to success is always under construction. And just like that graphic shows, you think you're on a straight path, but you're not. You're going to have those ramps that you go off in life. There's going to be those curves that you take, those speed bumps, those detours. But it's up to you to figure out the best way that you can achieve your goal in life. And guess what? It's okay to have more goals than one. And it's okay to maybe take a long time to get to one goal. So Eastbound and Down. If you've seen Smokey and the Bandit, you know they had a goal and they did whatever they could. But if you watch the movie, they had a lot of hiccups along the way. A lot. So the road to the goal can start out with a goal and you make a plan. You get to work on it. Sometimes you got to take a step back and readjust that plan. Then you stick to it and you can reach that goal, no matter how long it takes. And of course, I had to quote my, other true love. Ambition is a dream with a V8 engine. You got to go with it with everything you have to achieve that dream. It's not going to just be handed to you. If you're not strong in math, you're going to have to dig deep and work hard to get that math grade up. If you're not a great writer, practice, get a tutor. Anything that you do in life, training, training, and training. Read, read, read. Ask questions. That's how you get up to that climb of that mountain. So, my beloved Elvis said, don't criticize what you don't understand. You never walked in that man's shoes. So don't worry about what the person next to you is doing in life. Don't worry about that somebody told you you can't. Don't worry about the person that says you're not good enough. Because prove them wrong. And if you have style, you wear a jumpsuit. So, I've been everywhere. I love to travel. And these are pics of my parents. My parents were born in Eastern Kentucky during the Depression. My father had a 6th grade education. My mother went to the 10th grade. But yet I will say this about my father, and I'm not just saying it as a daughter. He probably was the smartest man I ever met in my life. And his path, I do believe I have one, yes. He knew he was going to be a country singer with a little flair of rock and roll. He was the lead singer at the #1 band nightclub in Cleveland, Ohio. He played with Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Dottie West, Kenny Rogers, all those as they were coming up. But something else told him that wasn't his dream. So he ended up becoming a minister, and he ended up preaching over 5,000 sermons in his 44 years of being a minister. So his life pivoted completely. I mean, one minute he's a rock and roll singer, and now he's a preacher. But he only had a 6th grade education, but he self-taught himself. And he often said to me, get an education. Because if I had had that opportunity, who knows what I could have become in life. And when I remember being a little girl in Cleveland, people coming to our house, clergymen from all different denominations in Cleveland. You can imagine how many pastors and ministers there are in Cleveland. They would knock on our door and ask my dad to interpret the Bible because he understood it better than they did. And they went to theology school. And he would talk to them about it. So share your knowledge with others. Let them get on the right path sometimes. You got to admit, women in the 40s and 50s, man, they knew how to dress, didn't they? So, on the road again. Sometimes you get to that goal, and then what do? Set another one. And you know what? It's okay to set 2 or 3 goals in your life at the same time. Just kind of pivot and curve. Sometimes you may be riding that guardrail. Sometimes you'll hit that speed bump. Or you'll dig deep and go past that construction zone and make it. So, sometimes it is that uphill battle. Don't forget to rest along the way. There's going to be road work ahead. Sometimes you go downhill and you got to figure out how to get back up. And by a show of hands, because we're all over 18, when was the last time that you got on a swing set? Oh, I see some eyes questioning and shaking heads. Stop and play sometimes. I want you, when you leave here, I want you sometime in the next month to find you a swing set, and I just want you to sit. And I want you to sit on that swing set And you may not be like what you were when you were little, when you were determined to swing it and you were going to go all the way over. You know what I mean? We all thought of it. But take the time to have fun. And I'm telling you, no matter what your age is, you get back on that swing set and you swing 2 or 3 times, you're going to get the biggest smile on your face. It's going to bring you joy. So no matter how hard life becomes sometimes, take the time to just have some fun. Because if the plan doesn't work, change that plan, but never change your goal. Sometimes you have to adjust it. That's just like in the supply chain. With all the disruptions that we've had since COVID started, companies around the globe have had to change plans and alter the way that they did their business. They had to come up with strategic transportation ideals of how to get things to where, or they had to worry about boats sitting at the ports. But their goal still was to meet the supply and demand of their customers. They just had to pivot. They had to face that road construction. They had to maybe do a detour. But the goal never changed. And life is short. And I knew that Miss Beck would be here. So Miss Beck, buy the shoes. Buy the shoes. That one's for you. The road less traveled. You know, sometimes it's okay to go on your own journey. You know, it's great to have advisors and it's great to have that parental or guardian support, or even Aunt Edna, the one that pinched your cheeks when you were 5. It's okay to listen to them. But sometimes you have to go out and do what you need to do for your life. And the key is your life. You've got to be happy, because I guarantee you, when you do a job and you're not happy with it, you're not going to be that top performer. You're never going to be promoted. You're just going to be there in a loveless job. Do something you're passionate about. And the most important thing, other than play to me, is school. Get that education. No matter how you get it, get it. Even if it means sitting down with a book at night and reading, that's education. Listening to a podcast could be education, good or bad, depending on which one you watch. But get that education. And don't ever stop believing. We all know that song, don't we? Don't stop believing. Don't ever stop believing, because you know why? Never stop learning. Because life never stops teaching you. It's always a lesson. Everything you do in life is a lesson. You know, college, just ahead. We offer scholarships here at the college. Seek them out. Ask questions. How do I apply for a scholarship? Or what class do I need to take? How do I get a job here? Do you have somebody that you know in your network? I'm looking for a job. There's answers. So don't ever stop believing in yourself. Break through that imaginary glass ceiling that you've placed over your head. Sometimes we place things on our head and we go, I'll never get it. There's no way I can get to the top. No way. Number 1, I don't have the education. Number 2, I may not have the background. I don't have the money for it. Don't ever stop believing in yourself and your goals in life. Because on that journey through life, that life is a highway, well, it took me 36 years to get that diploma. 36 years. I started out after high school. I went straight to college. Then life got in the way. I had a lot of speed bumps. I had some detours. I got on a path that was curvy as those roads in eastern Kentucky. But then finally I moved to Florida and I found FSCJ. So I graduated. Now I could be wrong, but I kind of think I'm right. I think I'm the first graduate of this school who also won the Distinguished Alumni Award. And I think that same person is the first person who also is now a professor here teaching the classes that she taught because I set a goal. Now, my next goal is in getting my doctorate degree. That one is, oh my, it's an uphill climb. And unlike I just told you, I can't wait to get to the other side. I became the first safety manager of a trucking company, first female at the trucking company to be a safety manager. Because I said, you know what? They're not going to tell me no. I was told during that meeting when I said, I'm interested in being a safety manager. Well, we've never had a woman. Well, now you do. I was the poster child for FSCJ's logistics program. Everywhere I went in town, I'd see billboards. I'd go on YouTube, there'd be my face. I'd go on to Facebook, and there'd be an ad advertising this college and the logistics program, and there'd be me. My truck drivers at the company that I ran. And oh, by the way, I only stayed safety manager for a little bit because I decided to be operational and general manager, so I moved my way up. But I would have drivers call me late at night, and they'd go, Miss Susan, I just saw you on a billboard. And you know what I'd say to them? I got my eyes on you everywhere you drive. So achieve your goals, no matter what age you are, because especially when you're an adult and you put your children through college first, and then you take the time for yourself and you say, it's my turn, and you get that degree, look at the smile on her face. She's just as proud of me as I am proud of myself. So that path, I just knew that in 1984 I'd have a college degree. Well, in 2016 I got it. Because I went on a lot of trips and a lot of journeys. And make sure you travel, go places, see the world, even if it's in your backyard. I know very well there's places here in North Florida you've never been to. Go to the welcome centers, get those brochures. I'm a brochure queen, I love them. Be spontaneous, plan, do it all. Because everything that you go and see is an education. Everything you experience is an education. So, and I want to thank all of you for joining us today. The last slide, I'm just going to let it play, and I want you to listen to the lyrics. This is a song that to me is my anthem. It describes me 100%. As morbid as it sounds, I've told my children to play it at the funeral. I want it played. And you know that the cartoon, The Lion King, you know the song Circle of Life? You know, sometimes we start out with one dream and then we go through life and we come back to it. You know? Well, this is my circle of life. Let me make sure it plays. Let me see, I may have to go here. There we go. They did say it was last lecture.
My friend, I'll say it clear. I state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I travel each and every life.
Lots of highways.
Much more than this, I did not.
Do it your way.
I've had a few,
Oh, yeah.
but then again, too few to mention.
Because you learn from your mistakes.
I did what I had to do. so I flew without exemption. I planned each charted course.
Oh, I'm OCD on planning.
Each careful step along the highway. Oh, much more than this, I did my way. Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew.
Let's see, teaching classes, redeveloping, doing a doctorate.
I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way.
Oh, don't be shy. So go out and do it your way and be the best person that you can be. And no matter what road you're on, when you get on that curve, who knows, that may be the path you need to take. Thank you very much for coming. We've got some refreshments out there for you. And for those students that are in this room, I can't wait to one day watch you in the future get that Distinguished Alumni Award. Make somebody of yourself. Make yourself proud. It's wonderful to have your parents proud of you, or your guardian, or your neighbor, or your spouse, your loved one, your partner. But make yourself proud. Be everything that you can possibly be. And I loved that you sung the entire song. Every word. Because think of it. It is, you do it your way. Your way is not the same way as my way. But do it your way. No matter what life gives you, always remember, life is a highway. Thank you very much.